It's DJ Daniel, you dig? You're tuned in to KOOL Radio, your number one station for the truth about what's happening in the way out wasteland. But enough of my spouting. Let's warm up with some new hot licks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Saturday here on Pod by Night. We are back with some more Fallout. Last time, things got a little romantic.
True.
I got a little romantic. You know, I was really, with this career, I'm always waiting to see who has the first romance. And I'll be honest, my bet was not on big business. But
no.
Right?
My bet was not on big. In fact, my bet is usually on Tracy. Let's be real.
And it usually is.
It's always on Tracy.
It's a good bet.
And I've been throwing NPCs at Tracy, just waiting to see who Sister Delilah really latched onto. But no, we had a different leash the last time. So we want to say welcome back, and I hope you're all having a fantastic holiday. We are going to be streaming next week. We might be a little light on cast, but just to let y'all know, we're gonna put some shit out for the holidays. Fuck it. And then we are going to break for 2 weeks until the new year, and we'll be back with some new stuff. I think that's it. Oh, Discord, Patreon. Tipsy.
You got that too, the mic?
Yeah, the peaking.
Okay.
We all got that.
Did I
Okay.
Was that me?
It was like a weird peak that like broke our ears for just a second.
Okay,
Yeah.
you don't want to break your ears. Let me take my gain down a little bit. Does that feel better? Is that better?
It was just a freak thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was a
okay,
gain
okay,
thing.
okay.
I think it was just like something somewhere broke momentarily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like the gangrel moment, remember?
No, it was the gangrel moment.
It was like
Zach does not know the gangrel moment was when Tracy's mic went gangrel.
it just weird like glitch in my mic, and I suddenly got
Oh my
really
God.
loud when I
Was
said the word gangrel.
so funny.
I bet I can find the clip.
There's a clip of it on the channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a glitch in your mic or a glitch in Tracy.
It's true. It's true.
Oh man. Let's see what else. Well, I was putting things in chat here. Discord, all the kinds of ways to connect with us. Please do so. Clearly, we're all professionals here. And speaking of professionals, we will professionally make this game more chaotic when you fill that bar there at the bottom with tips. It also helps us pay the lovely faces you see here on screen so that we can feed our cats and buy cough drops for Bub.
Yeah, lots.
Okay. I think I rolled through it, and let me start with my usual recap, and then, like I always tell y'all, you can fill in the dirty details. So last time, you all decided to leave Beatsville, and you took with you the jam bakers, because you were headed to go suss out the location Meckminster Abbey, which you found, no problem. But when you got there, they were under attack by some feral ghouls, actually frost ferals, to be exact. You confessed your sins, you got some new stuff, and out of the sisters' kindness, they ask you to help them with a couple things. Most importantly, rebuilding the junk fence. And while you were all rebuilding the junk fence, you decided it was a good idea to go check out the location that Sister Geiger had said holds a specific item she needs to complete the anti-radiation gun that she's building on the top, this turret on the top of the church steeple. You couldn't wait, so you sent half the party. Let me reiterate. You sent half the party to go investigate. You left the other half, who is completely not qualified to build a fence, When you got there, what you found were 3 super mutants who had turned the lobby of what looks to be a toy factory into their home, their humble abode. There was some sneaking, there was some negotiating, and after a combat where you slaughtered 2 of them, one of them, the female, was left, and big business caught her eye. And thanks to a deal that was made in the long run, which I'm sure we'll get some more details on here soon, you were all basically allowed to pass. You hijacked the security system, opened the doors to the factory, which probably hasn't been open since the bomb dropped. And what you found was basically a massive crime scene, really, a 200-year-old crime scene, where the factory employees here had killed one another in some kind of strange, unexpected event. It seems that the new substance they were coating the monkeys' symbols in just happened to be lead, and they all received lead poisoning and went insane and killed one another. But these lead symbols are what you need for Sister Geiger. That's what she was looking for. And you loaded up a display sled, a Christmas sled, and rolled it back to the Abbey with everything that you needed. In addition, because big business has gone into a marriage proposal, lest we forget, your super mutant other better half is going to help keep the sisters safe while the rest of you continue to travel. The sisters have decided that y'all are a little bit of trouble. I am in the wrong roll 20. No wonder. I was like, why is everybody not in roll 20? I'm in the wrong roll 20. It's because I'm playing 3 Fallout Winter of Adam games, y'all. I have to get the right one. Okay, this is the right one. So you doesn't want to launch. You were allowed to kind of stay the night, but the sisters were like, look, y'all are some trouble. Here's your gear. Here's your guns. Get out of here for a little bit. We're going to rebuild our fence. We're going to lay low, and we're going to check out this factory that you cleared for us to see if it's something that we can use in the long run for maybe expansion, or additional, safe haven for the refugees. I want to think that's about where we ended. The deal also was that you had to allow her to be a stay-at-home super mutant, so you will have to bring supplies back to her on the regular. Any questions?
Nope. No questions here.
All right, let's do that thing. What was something last time specific to your character you want to make sure everybody doesn't forget, or that even you have remembered?
I don't want anyone to forget the sacrifices that big business made on behalf of the party, and
We do appreciate your sacrifice.
Yeah,
Taking one for the team.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad actually, because I think where we ended things off, big business, and I'm forgetting her name right now. What's her name?
You better not ask her that.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember.
Sick brain.
Tracy remembered. She has on-screen trauma from not remembering names, right, Tracy?
Yeah, this is true. I remember every name. I write down every name now.
We're in the recap. I can, I can do it now. Okay, so yeah, with Thrash, we actually had like a good night together, even though big business was not expecting to. And yeah, so even though we're hitting the road again, I think he's actually kind of, he doesn't want to like the fact that he has a stay-at-home mutant partner now, but maybe he does kind of like it a little. But
yeah, there's something actually humane about it, right? In the super mutant way, like it's kind of different, like big business is different. Aw.
Yeah, I'm different.
Love in the wasteland. Sorry, I can't even say it.
Gosh. Speaking of romances too, I think that makes 2 for 2 in that any game that I show up in,
Yeah.
I'm always the first romance die.
That's right. Yeah, I said
So-
that. Yeah, this is 2 for 2.
Look, yeah, Tracy, if you ever don't want to be first, just
Right?
have me in your
bring
guys'
Zach
games.
in. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm
Ooh.
flattered, but it's great. So
Okay, well, who else has things that should not be forgotten?
I'm trying to remember if there was anything like Sister Delilah was not didn't have any like major faith moments the last episode.
Oh, I remember. You were given something.
I was given something.
You were given. She said, "When you leave." Take
Oh,
this with
I
you."
did have the big. Okay, that was kind of a big faith moment. And then I got the wrench from Sister. Was it Sister Amos that gave it to me?
No, it was the matron.
Yeah.
or the Reverend Riveter.
Yeah, Reverend Riveter. I'm gonna write that down. Yes, so I did, and it was a moment of like, oh, you. It was like them almost like there could be a place for you here. You don't have to, be
You don't
defined.
have to do it that way.
Yeah. And also like you can use this wrench for like whatever you need to use it for. It doesn't have to be like, I don't have to be like fixing things. Like it's a tool and I can use it as I interpret it and see fit to use. So
That emote
that was
with
pretty
the
cool.
wrench is so cute. That's so cute.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was a moment. She was like, just, if you decide to take that patch off, here's maybe just something
Yeah.
to help you reconsider.
Yeah.
All right. What about old Mason? He got all fixed up. His arm got fixed.
Yeah, Mason's back to banging on all cylinders, which feels pretty good. Honestly, I think my personal takeaway around, like, there wasn't really a lot. What I would say was crucial to character growth was that Mason felt very comfortable there at Beckminster. He probably could have stayed at Beckminster, all things considered, because he liked the mission of the nunnery, right? Like of service and solitude, and that I think that kind of means a lot to him. Plus, he has an opportunity at really, I don't want to say evolving, but like growing in capacity for assisting others, because that's inevitably what Mr. Handies were developed for. And Mason felt very equal in a lot of regards because he's been alone for so long. But he also doesn't want to leave his group because they're the first friends he's had in a long time, if ever. So he's very happy about that. And they seem like they're very interested in the capacity for him to discover Nuclea and his own personal, with this bizarre romance interest of
I'm
this.
gonna call it obsession, but yeah, sure,
Yeah.
yours is better.
Yeah. It's I don't know. There's a lot there. It's been really fun to explore Mason in regards to my previous experiences playing synthetics and robots in general. So it's been neat. I guess I did discover that Tracy's character is developing fresh baby hair.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. Because you've not been exposed to a lot of radiation, as much radiation recently. You've maybe not been following your faith as faithfully as you should have been. Your hair's growing back. Gasp. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting because I want to think that Bentham said in one of our after shows that he had a similar feeling, Mason, when we were at Beatsville, right? The idea that Beatsville
I was thinking that, yeah.
right? Like there's this strange thing. It's actually one of the reasons I love this campaign specifically is because you're meant to care about these communities. Like each character will find a community that means the most to them or where they feel most comfortable. But that you have to have that buy-in. And I think it's interesting to see because if these communities survive whatever is to come, maybe you all do find a home or a new place. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's interesting. I thought that was a little nice parallel. What about you, Bentham? But what did anything we want to not forget?
I'm struggling. I feel like we covered everything. I don't think there was a particular like big Mortimer moment last episode. I think the episode before Mortimer had plenty of moments.
what
So,
about
like,
the decision to take the shot or not?
I was
when
about
the
to say, yeah.
mutants and the ghouls are fighting?
That's true. I did.
yeah.
I did. That's a good point. Is there was the moment where I just sat and watched the ghouls killing super mutants for a while, and then finally was like, okay, I am going to intervene.
Yeah, I should intervene.
Yeah, that's fair. That was
Yeah, like a moral quandary because
Interesting.
you're a good dude. Mortimer's kind of turning out to actually have a bit of a heart. And it's like, well, when is a mutant not a mutant? When it is it worth saying?
Yeah.
And,
Well, the
like,
thing is, it's like it's not perfect because he still did just let him kill each other for a while before being like,
It's
"I'll save the last one." Now that she's lost everyone she knows and loves, I will
Now I'll
intervene.
save her.
it's called
That's funny.
tactics,
It's
right?
like
Tactics.
yeah. That's the thing. It's
Still
like I wouldn't.
survivors.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't be like, "Oh, his heart grew 3 sizes." It's like, nah, it's still like Mortimer cares and he cares about a lot of things, but like in this moment, he was like, "What is tactically advantageous
Yeah.
to me?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And you know what? It turned out that love was found on the other side of that tactical advantage. So
Oh my
maybe
gosh.
it worked out for everybody. Um,
I mean, we did get a sweet sled too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
sure, we
Oh,
we
yeah.
filled we helped the nuns with their thing, but like
Mhm.
we got a sled,
We got
and
a
now we
sled
have
now.
a pull behind.
Mhm.
which may, the Brahmin will pull it pretty easy.
Easy peasy, yeah.
Easy peasy. And you never have to worry about changing a wheel.
Mm.
True.
Yeah.
Nuclear winter sleds.
Yeah,
We should be
sleds, man.
investing.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? All right. Well, we'll pick up. If I remember correctly, y'all had like a somewhat warm meal. You had pew stew, and Big Business did not stay inside the abbey. There was, the first night with his new partner, which turned out great. And as morning kind of arises, you are maybe awoken by the sound of music. Not loud music or disruptive music, but just kind of the light picking, as if the band is kind of off in the corner, tapping out or practicing or just trying to keep their fingers warm against the cold. And the Reverend Riveter has already started on the bellows to kind of roar up this ever-burning furnace.
Suppose I should probably start for everyone as normal.
Good morning, Wastelanders.
Ah.
Rise and shine.
Ah.
Yep.
Morning, Mason.
What seems to be the problem? Why such the long face? Is it my tone? I'm rather chipper, I know.
It's the suddenness.
Not everybody can be so chipper right in the morning.
We have
Especially
so much
not
to be
here.
thankful for. Look at where we're at. Look at the company we keep. I see to each of you, and I feel more than just comforts. You're comrades in arms. I would fight for you. Take all of the bullets at least once. Mostly because I don't know if I can take them twice. Good talk. I'm glad we had this.
As you float off, there's a couple bowls of some hot stuff being passed around. People are waking up. And remember, this is really just church pews with people sleeping on and under them. There's nothing really special. It's a very humble place, you might say. But people are making do. And the Reverend Riveter comes over to pass out what could be considered breakfast. Maybe it's a porridge of some kind, or like you did bring some grain in. Yeah, and she says, I imagine you'll want a warm meal before you're off on your next journey. And she looks over to the band, who's kind of plucking in the corner, and she says, I know this was once a church, but we're not really used to music here, at least not on a regular basis. You are taking them with you, right?
We'll check in on them and see what their plans are, but I believe it's a tour, a grand tour. They're going all around everywhere.
Well, good luck to them. She kind of smiles and
Yeah.
looks at them, kind of like grandma staring at the rock and roll record. Yeah, and you can see them, they're like off in the corner.
I'll go and talk to them.
We are taking them with us. Right. Well, do we have a place that we intend to stop up and drop them?
If they plan on moving, then I'd rather move with them than find a bunch of musical instruments and a pool of blood down the line.
Right. It makes the most sense.
Maybe I can direct them to somewhere where they might want to stay and be safe.
They're muttering, kind of, under their breath, like, jive speak. And they're like, yeah, man, whatever, man. Oh, I like that, man. And they're just kind of like plucking away this morning quietly in the corner. And they kind of look up at you as you walk over. And he says, hey, dude, are we ready to hit the road? Because this place is burnt out.
It's kind of all like this. Just a heads up.
He says, it's all in a church, man?
It's all very focused on survival right now.
Well, that's cool. We're here to spread our music. Saving souls, you know?
All right, if you're not ready to go home, then we can work out the next place to go.
Yeah, where's that? He kind of looks to you.
Well, the first one that comes to mind is if we head a bit to the east, we'll come across a Minutemen fort. Pretty safe place.
Yo, the troops, dude. Yeah, man. Okay, yeah, we'll play for the Minutemen. That could be dope. Yeah, that'll be cool.
Don't know if that's where we're planning on going, but we'll see what the rest of the team thinks. And if we're heading that way, it'd be good to move as a group rather than have you without anyone. Do you even have guns?
Nah, dude. These are the only
Yeah,
weapons
you-
we need. Diddly dee.
Yeah, you should come. You should come with us. Yeah. Oh God, and I'll go back to the gang and be like, they're not done. They're gonna keep going. The Minutemen are to the east. We could take them there.
Historically, we don't have very good rapport with the Minutemen. Maybe more so without Grant in our company, but I wonder how we will be received.
It's hard to communicate faces across distances, so we're just some people. We weren't even at the Emerald City.
We weren't well received here, but we did just fine.
It's true, but the last I checked, we also didn't urinate on their card table.
That's valid.
Oh, God, this campaign.
All right.
I think I can probably smooth over whatever needs smoothing.
I'm along for the ride.
All right. Were there any other options for places we wanted to go besides there?
The problem is that the other places it would be nice to find, we don't know where they are.
The best like physical location that you've been given is that the USS Germination is obviously on the coast somewhere, which does narrow your search. Everything else is a little less obvious. You do have, you know what? I'll take us to the map. Why not? Yeah, okay. So you do have the Minutemen Fort, which is out here, right? So you guys are at, I actually need to mark McMinster because I haven't put it on the map, have I? Let me do that. I'll do a thing.
And I'll continue. There's a ship somewhere to the north that will be good to find. Apparently they've got a way of growing food in winter there, which everywhere needs food right now. It's a good stop, but we don't know where it is. But I think the Minutemen know, so they might be able to tell us. Then there's the Mirage, but we don't know where that is. We know where with some tracks we're seeing, but that's about it. Could be anywhere by now. And then there's Big Top. I don't think we know where Big Top is either, do we?
Nope. It's been hinted maybe it's a little farther north. But that's about all you know.
Mm-hmm. And other than that, it's maybe trying to track down some Children of Atom to see if we can locate the hat. But I don't even know where to start on that. Except, I guess, Diamond City, not Emerald City.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. You could go back to Diamond City. You do know maybe it's changed since it's become a bit of a mecca for the Children of Atom. You might find information there, and you are welcome, at least during daylight hours. But yeah, okay. So you're here at Megminster. The fort is Yonderby, and you also know. Really, Mortimer would know that there is also a north post for the Minutemen. It's kind of like a secondary fort, which is Bunker Hill here. Those are the kind of two big Minutemen locations. And then, of course, you would know their operations are that they send scouts in and around the more centralized area of this island to support people and do what Minutemen do.
Perhaps we should also consider our current company. Exactly where we may go. Some of us may not be allowed. For instance, big business. Nothing too pressing there, large fellow. But do you think that the Minutemen would be so accepting of our comrade?
I think they'd have to be warned. If they saw him in the distance, they might start taking pot shots. But I think if we walk up and we tell them what the situation is, I think most people, and definitely the Minutemen, would be fascinated at the idea of a super mutant that's so smart.
Speaking of smart super mutants, the camera cuts. Your partner is up this morning cooking her cousin for breakfast because, don't waste meat. Thrash says, "You sleep late, must go work," and points at door.
Good morning to you too.
Good? What is good about it?
That we are here together.
Oh. Yes, that is good. Would you like meat?
I will try it for you.
Why for me? For you.
I will try it.
And she offers it to
I
you.
will try it.
You take a bite. I mean, you've had flesh before.
Yeah.
Super mutant flesh is kind of the bottom of the barrel. It's like humans having to eat rad roach meat.
Yeah.
She says,
What? It's not like humans having to eat human meat.
some might say human meat is better than rad roach meat, but maybe, it's just a taste.
Okay. I say,
Very good. You are a good cook.
Oh, that is kind.
Yes.
We go now. Things to do. Must.
Oh, I have a hat for you.
Hat?
Yes. From Dead Lady in Factory.
Does my head need hat?
I have hat.
It's
We
nice.
match.
Matching hat, and she kind of takes it from you, and it's like one of those tiny little 1950
Yeah.
hats, so it's really small in her
Yep.
hands. And she says, "It is perfect." And she reaches up and she puts it on her head. It's like one of those little hats on a monkey. It's like really
Uh-huh.
tiny. And she pins it to the one or two pieces of like hair maybe she does have, or loose pieces of super mutant skin. She says, and the veil doesn't even cover her eye, just like the forehead.
oh my god.
And how do I look?
Beautiful.
She kind of looks at you awkwardly. Well, we should think.
I
Yeah,
will
we're
go
gonna. Okay.
be providing.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Now remember you.
I know
Yes.
provide. I sit.
I know, but when the ladies from the
Oh yes.
church.
Tiny women in black dresses. Protect. Can do.
Yeah, good.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I
It's the most awkward
I
exit.
put a hand on her shoulder, not really sure what else to
Yeah,
do.
she says, "That is strange."
You wanted to touch me all sorts of ways yesterday.
But shh, that is secret.
No one is around.
She looks, there's half the bodies of her two cousins. That is for nighttime. Yes. And she pats you really hard on the shoulder. Like,
Good.
really hard on the shoulder.
Ow.
Ow.
mean-
Yeah, think about that.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, she tries to like tip her hat to you.
I do the same.
I will be back.
I keep house.
Good.
Good.
I awkwardly kind of walk backwards a few steps and then slowly turn around and
And
leave.
the door closes, and you walk down the street basically to the abbey, which is not too
as I'm
far.
walking, I'm like,
So stupid. I'm so stupid. I don't know what to do, what to say. Oh, forget it. Oh,
I imagine if the camera cuts, she's like, so stupid. No idea what to say. He's so stupid. And she's doing the same thing to herself as she's like maybe sweeping 200-year-old dust off this floor. As you come up on the abbey, you can see that the sled is being kind of like, hooked up to your Brahmin, and the band is packing their gear into their cart.
okay.
And the crew is around, your crew is around.
Okay. Are they assembled or
If by assembled, are they in a huddle? Probably.
okay? I walk over to them and say,
hello. I am here, ready to go. Anything happen new, strange? Or are we okay?
Does business seem
nothing
okay?
Everything's straight.
I'll leave that up to you.
Is there a role or anything? Like,
I mean, is big business not his usual self today?
Certainly not. He's a little, the awkwardness is, you can smell it. It is yeah.
I won't make you roll for smelling his awkwardness.
I don't know if there's a role for that.
Yeah.
Well,
You seem rather tense, big business.
Rather, what is tense?
I imagine it's as if a muscle has been tightened and is not released.
Well, Thrash did just punch me very hard.
Oh.
Relationship woes already.
It was a good
Hmm.
I do not
Okay.
comprehend. This has not been written into my programming. I can't understand.
We are very big and powerful, and sometimes when we punch for fun, we hurt, but it's still fun.
Mortimer, is there a fun punch that I'm not aware of?
I think so.
I would show you, but you would get very, very hurt.
Oh, is this a mating ritual?
No, you can do it as friends. Like,
I'll point between Sister Delilah and Mortimer and say,
like you two do example. One, you punch, but be nice.
I'll do just like a knuckle
Like a
tap
little,
on Delilah's shoulder.
Yeah, see?
See?
Yeah, okay.
But
Was it
then-
like that?
If I do it,
and I kind of lean over to the fence and I just lightly punch the fence and it
Yeah, it breaks a little, yeah.
so
Yeah,
anyway,
okay.
is
Fair
I
enough.
understand why you might be very tense. That makes sense.
but no, I am fine. The Thrash is not as Thrash is nice, but I am ready to go.
There's clearly a lot to unpack there, and I do not have the psychological degree to unpack that, so maybe another time.
Well, looks like we are packing, not unpacking.
Different levels, my friend.
Hmm.
The Jam Bakers are ready for the next step of their tour. I recommended the Minutemen Fort to the east. I'm holding out hope that they're gonna decide to go home at some point. But in the meantime, I can take them to places that are safe.
Does Delilah have her wrench like visibly out?
Yeah, I think she would have it attached to her waist at this point.
Okay. I think big business would kind of like looking over each of you. He'll look down and say,
Are you going to give that back? Don't forget, I don't like when people steal things.
Oh, this was given to me.
Oh,
Yes, by the Reverend. As
are
a gift.
you are staying here with them now?
No,
Well,
no.
convict.
No. I think Sister Delilah takes a bit of a sigh. Let me just say that I think it was a gift, and they still want us all to leave. But it was a parting gift. Yes, that is all.
Interesting.
That is all.
Yes.
You seem tense.
Yes, I also have a muscle in my back. I slept like absolute shit last night, and I am a bit tense, yes. But that's all right. We have overstayed our welcome, it seems, and they've asked us to leave, so we should get ourselves ready to make our leave.
So you say Fort Mortimer, we go to Minutemen.
That
I think
usually
it's a good place to
doesn't
swing
end
by.
well for super mutants, but you're not the average super mutant. But
And we can make some kind of plan. I can approach when the men advance so there's no misunderstandings about you appearing in the distance. I think they'll
Alright.
be interested to meet you.
Yeah, this is usually the case.
Can we develop a tertiary plan, just in case they're not thrilled to meet big business as an ally?
Run away?
Or perhaps we're advertising for the circus.
I don't mean to interrupt. The Reverend Riveter says as she kind of looks at the four of you in a little communal area, and she says, "But if you'd like to contact the Minutemen, we can just call them to come here."
Oh,
You can do that?
Well, of course. She kind of smiles. We can always send off a flare, and they'll send a couple troops.
Oh, there was a service line. It was misunderstanding.
She says they're not very far, and we help each other. The Minutemen and the sisters, of course.
If you can do that, that would be great. I don't want to raise too much alarm. Don't send. If you have different colored flares, don't send the red one.
She nods. She puts her fingers to her lips and she whistles very loudly. And over the top of the steeple, as y'all are all kind of out front loading stuff, you see the kind of crazy hair and massive eyes of Sister Geiger. And she says, "What?" And the Reverend Riveter says, "Send off a flare to the Minutemen, the yellow one." And she goes, and there's kind of a pause before a kind of crickety hand comes out with a flare gun, and she fires off the flare, and a yellow flare goes off into the sky. And the Reverend says, "Well, finish packing. They'll be here, when they get here."
Mortimer, you have the most experience with these men of minutes. I think I will defer to your experience with them. Normally I am the talkative sort. I have a hard time clamming up. But under this series of exceptions, I will putter down.
I can take the lead.
Good man.
Don't have too much faith in me. End of the day, I'm just a guy. I've done some work with them in the past, but
Were you not a
as I
Minuteman?
never quite fully on the payroll. I've worked with them before, around them.
Ah,
for
man
them.
of dabbling experience. This is why you're leading. Perfect. That's what we like.
Some of them know me, and some of them want me. Some of them don't want me. It is what it is.
Such is the way of life.
Hmm.
Perfect.
Mason, are you all better now?
I would hazard to say I'm near perfect. It is the first time I felt this way in over 100 years.
Oh,
His
Whoa.
flame seems a little brighter today.
that's good.
I've full control of all parts of my person. Every apparatus, every phalange, anything that can be moving, will be moving, should be moving, is moving.
Were you were whispering at some point.
I've been weaving in and out of it. It's a neat trick, don't you think?
You were funny.
Well, thank you. And you're large, dapper, and a friend of mine now. I quite enjoy that.
All right. What should we do until the Minutemen come?
Yes, how long will it take for them
She
to get
said
here?
until they got here. You could see that the band could use a couple sets of hands, maybe loading their cart. You probably want to make sure that the sled is secure to your lovely. What was your Brahmin's name?
Susan and
Misty and Susan.
Misty
Yeah.
and
Misty and
Susan.
Susan.
Make sure Misty and Susan are hooked up to the sled really good so it doesn't hurt them and we don't break the sled. And there's like little packing things you do. And in about 30 minutes, off in the distance, you see 3 figures walking up. The silhouette is undeniable. And the Reverend comes out to greet them first. A dark man, his hat, a nice jacket, his, laser pistol in hand, pretty standard. Handsome gentleman, in fact, and he has a nice scarf on to finish everything off in the cold. And she gestures for them to come to the abbey, and as she brings it over to you, she says, I would like you to meet Preston Garvey, Captain Preston Garvey. She kind of nods like she forgot.
Oh, Captain, nice to meet you.
Kind of in a deep voice, and a cheerful one though. Like he seems to be a good-natured man just from his voice alone. And he says, no problem at all. Is there something we can help with?
So we were actually looking to visit your fort. We've
Oh.
got some people with us who are not able to defend themselves.
Do you point them out?
Yeah, I will like gesture over as like they're a band. They're doing a tour.
A band. He kind of the idea seems so bizarre. What kind of band?
They're going around and they want to visit all the places there are to visit and play their music.
Do they have
I
a
know.
name? He kind of looks at
the Jam Bakers.
There's like an actual double take, like a small jaw drop moment as he turns. He says, "That's the Jam Bakers."
Oh, you know them.
He
Yeah.
kind of turns around to the other 2 guys. He says, "Radio back and tell them that we're bringing the band to the fort." And he says, "You don't have to worry about them from here on out."
Oh, brilliant.
He says, "We'll be happy to make sure that they are safe and secure." He looks over. They're kind of maybe a little fanboy-ish in the moment, these 3 men.
Do they have any particular reaction to the rest of us? Like, Mason?
They
Can they
definitely...
see big business,
They
or do I need to like prepare them?
I mean, Mason's
their
an interesting robot. And
distance. They keep their distance, but the Reverend probably gave the rundown.
okay.
They don't make eye contact. They probably kind of avoid eye contact, but they're not singling you out. They're trying to focus on the exciting thing, which is that you have the jam bakers. And Preston looks at you and he says, "Where did you find them?"
Do people not know the jam bakers are from Beatsville? Because I thought they did.
They do, but nobody knows where Beatsville is. So his guess is that you found them on the road, like you rescued them. He doesn't think that you found Beatsville.
Okay. He doesn't need to know that then, but I think I will lean in and like maybe take him aside a bit.
Okay.
They are, of course, as you know, from Beatsville. And so obviously they know where Beatsville is. Please don't try and get out of them where it is. Please discourage people from finding that out.
He puts a really kind of comforting hand on your shoulder and he says, "We're not interested in the location of Beatsville, but we do want to make sure they're okay. Do they have enough food and..."
They're well fed, but I don't know about their supplies exactly. They are. This plan's pretty ill conceived. They are just kind of. They've just got dreams of touring the world and bringing the music to everyone, and everything else is kind of secondary.
He says, I get it, the artist way, right? He says, "Look, we're not interested in like finding Beatsville if they don't want to be found. We're actually a lot more interested in the band." He says the morale of the
Sounds
troops
great.
has been kind of low. So we've been looking for something to boost their spirits.
Yeah, but with the first concern being their lives, my second concern has been if they run into the wrong kind of people, it could come back to their home.
He says, "You don't have to worry about that. The fort is one of the safest places, and when we're, done there, maybe we can take them up to Bunker Hill, another one of the safest locations in the Commonwealth." And you know that to be true. I mean, it's the two main forts of the Minutemen. It's not an unsafe place.
I appreciate that very much.
He says, "No, we appreciate you. You found the jam bakers, man." And he kind of claps you on the shoulder, and he says, "I like you." And he kind of looks you up and down, and he sees like you're wearing a jacket, right? You got the vibe and the hat, and he says, we could really use a soldier like you."
I know, I've heard it before. I know a lot of you guys.
And he says, "So I'm feeling a but coming on here, but..."
I would rather do my own thing. I'm on board with the mission, but I'd rather achieve it my own way.
I got it. The lone wolf vibe. Well, how about this? He reaches into his coat and he pulls out a flare gun, really. It's like a box and it's got a flare gun in it. And he says, "Why don't you take this with you?" He says, "There are always Minutemen around, and y'all seem like a eclectic group of good-hearted creatures of the wasteland." He kind of looks at the group, not sure how to categorize you. And he says, "So, send off a flare. If we're around, help will come."
Thank you very much. Yeah, these are my friends. This is Mason, Sister Delilah, and Big Business. He's very friendly when you get to know him, I promise.
"So the Reverend Riveter told me." He looks at all of you kind of like, wow. We're going to get them on the road. I have a bad feeling that a storm's coming. And he kind of looks up at the sky. You don't see probably anything at first glance. And he says, "But I know you got your own code and everything, Lone Wolf, but if you head up the coastline and happen to, if you happen to be going that way, would you check in on something for me?" He kind of leans in.
Potentially.
He says, "We got an outpost up that way of Minutemen. They were going to check in with the USS Germination, and they've gone radio silent."
I'd heard about that ship. I was actually going to ask you guys about it.
"Well, we don't know a whole lot. We sent a small group of men that way to negotiate and try to make contact. They've been pretty quiet and isolated, at least since the ship blew in onto the shore. They were going to set up an encampment nearby, but we've not heard word once since they were supposed to have arrived. So if you come across them, maybe ask them to radio the fort. Let us know they're all right. If it's worse,
I definitely
maybe use
will.
that flare gun.
Yeah, I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, me neither. In fact, that's actually where we were headed when we saw this flare. And he said, so I will take them back. You look into the missing Minutemen.
Perhaps we can get to that now. I'll check in with my friends.
He kind of nods and he kind of gives the signal to his boys to kind of round them up. The four of the jam bakers walk over to all of you and they go, we just want to say thank you, man, for all you've done for us, bringing us this far and helping us on our journey, dude. You're bringing music to the people, you know?
You're welcome. Just make sure to stay safe out there.
Oh, we're going to be so safe, dude. The sounds of our tunes are like a shield from the outside world. Healing hearts, minds, and bodies, man.
I hope so.
I know so. Write that one down, dude. And they kind of they say goodbye to all of you in their Beatsville way, and they head off with the 3 Minutemen, with Preston Garvey in the lead towards the fort. You kind of traded side quest, I guess.
So, turn to the group and say, okay, new plan by the sounds of it. They want someone to go check upon the USS Germination. They sent a group. The group didn't check in. We could head straight there.
I was going to say, well, that could be, we had plans to go there anyway.
You got a bit of a trek, and it will depend on which way you want to go.
Did he say a storm was coming in too? Oh, gosh. Traveling in a storm.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but maybe he knows something I don't.
Yeah, I trust their intuition. So we should probably prepare for that. Yes, it's good that we have a sled now. To transport.
And we don't have a band to tag along.
That's true.
You'll be able to move a little faster. That is
We've
true.
lightened the load a bit.
You've weighted down the Minutemen, that's for sure.
All right. So it will be quite a journey there. If we go the standard route, I suppose.
So you got a few options. You don't have Kalita with you. You don't actually have your Pip-Boy map, but you would know the way in which you came, right? So you left Diamond City and headed southeast through Beatsville to Meckminster Abbey. You made a pretty straight line, actually, but you would know that Good Neighbor is just north of Diamond City. So you could actually take yourselves directly north and see what's on your way. You could stop halfway at Good Neighbor, or you could just scour straight up the coast and just hope that you don't bump into anything bad. Right? Like, because it said it's on the coast, so you should see it.
Yeah, I opt for, going up along the coast.
Seems
Just
like a
follow
good
the
idea.
coast, get it done.
Yes.
We can always go to Good Neighbor if anything goes wrong.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, if anything goes wrong or you need quick shelter, Good Neighbor will be there waiting on you.
Yes.
That's our town slogan.
Yeah. If nothing else, Good Neighbor's waiting on you. Okay. Well, you can set out pretty much when you're ready. The question is, who is making the travel check for the group? That is a survival endurance check.
These days for me, that's
Imagining it's going to be
an
you,
11.
or more. Yeah, that's going to be you.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's got higher than that. You have
My
4
Big business
AP.
might.
My endurance is really high.
What is your
but my-
total?
I can't see.
Oh,
I
right.
know.
I'm so sorry. You
Oh,
were
I
so
can't.
right.
I tried to open his
I can,
sheet,
I can
but I
do
can't
that.
see
You
it.
can,
I
yeah,
didn't
you
even
guys
think
can.
about
You
it.
can. You can give them access to my sheet.
Yeah. Let me pop it open. I'll pop it open too. Okay, so your endurance is high. Your survival is 3, so his is 12.
He's still one better than me.
So what we'll do is we'll have you roll then big business, and if you want to do a help action to make it higher. So the
Yeah,
way
I'll do a
this
help.
works is, have you been on this path before? You have not. Is it dangerous? Yes. And are there any like massive weather conditions we need to consider? Probably not. So I'm gonna say this is a 2 travel check to get where you need to go. Are you trying to travel there quickly? Or normal pace, like if you travel quickly, it will make it 1 step higher. Like how fast do you want to get there?
Normal pace is probably fine.
Okay, so we'll leave it at 2, but it may take you a little longer to get where you're going. All right.
Okay.
Survival check it's going to be, and then if you don't get 2, do you want to use any AP? You have 4 as a group.
I'm inclined not to because
Okay.
something happens and it's
Yep.
just more interesting.
Okay, you got 1 success, Mortimer. If you would like to roll to assist, make sure to click your token off the far left over here first, and then hit that roll to assist button.
Endurance, survival. Nope.
Beautiful. Well, you didn't get any complications, at least unless somebody decides to fill the bar. But it is going to take you a long time because Preston Garvey was absolutely right. A storm rolls in. What you all basically find is you take to this main kind of strip of highway here, which is relatively traveled. You can see that the snow is a little less in that area, and it is a little bit more dangerous. You can hear raiders way off in the distance or gunfire, and you avoid the majority of that, but you cannot avoid Mother Nature. And while you are all traveling, you get to probably right about here, whatever this little like grouping of buildings is, and the weather just kind of drops out. The wind picks up, the snow starts falling heavier, the sky goes dark in the middle of the day, and a blizzard rolls in, making it extremely difficult to get anywhere. The question is, do you want to push through? It will now be 3 to get where you're going because it gets harder, or do you want to make camp and wait out the storm?
I think Mortimer yelling over the storm will be like, "We can't see out to the water anyway. We might as well hold up somewhere and wait till this passes."
Oh my god, let's see where we're holding up here.
Yeah, is there any
Yeah, there
shelters
are,
or buildings?
In fact, there's quite a few. Let's see what's safe in the area. Let's see. There's a great interactive map online that'll tell me exactly what I want to know. Here we go. So, all right, what you've got in that area, there's a massive robotics building, which is probably crawling. There's Mass Bay Medical Center, so that's Mass Bay Medical. This warehouse building here on the coast, that is the Consumer Robotics, Hester's Consumer Robotics. This is a medical center, this MTA mark here. And then this is a high school. So there is like a small grouping of buildings still standing right here.
Anyone got any preference?
Well, Mason's always going to push for robotics place just because personal gain, but I think a robotics place is also going to have adequate shelter more than anything else.
I was going to say robotics or medical in case there's like some supplies and stuff, but I think the robotics
We
could try that.
Yeah.
Makes me worry about there being robots, but we'll probably it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So, much like you would imagine, like a nicer used car lot, this is for used robotics. This is a secondhand dealer like location. Yeah, it's like a sales center and maintenance garage for refurbished and upgraded consumer robots. Specifically the Mr. Handy model, which you can see because there are Mr. Handy parts laying everywhere in this like leftover area. The front door, you can actually see through what's little bit of the glass is like left. It was some kind of like retail showroom. There are displays that are destroyed and those kinds of things. You do not see anything immediately that jumps out at you as moving. But this is just the front area of this business. Actually, here, I'll show you what the building looks like. I will drop it. Oh, I can drop it in our Zoom chat.
Nice.
Boom, I can. And we'll say y'all are in this. We'll say you got into the building, like the front door was open. And so there's this, like, it's just like an open showroom is really what you're standing in.
Seems rather strange.
Oh.
I mean, I've seen Mr. Handy's before, given that I am one, but it's peculiar, bizarre. Imagine walking through a room and you saw 7 more of yourself.
That does seem weird. Yes.
Just, refurbished robots.
So you've never seen other Mr. Handys?
Well, I came from a long line of originating Mr. Handybot, but my purpose was to serve as opposed to provide combat scenarios. I was not one of the blazing foot soldiers. I was designed to adhere to follicular service, master, barber, and what have you. Believe it or not, there was a time of peace before nuclear winter, before the bombs fell. Everything was good for a while.
Not something I can really comprehend. I mean, I've read about it in books and things, but...
Fields were lush, grass was green, the air was clean, and not everything was designed to kill you.
Seems nice.
A dream. I know. But
Everything
here
I
we
hear
are.
about that time, I don't understand how we got here.
Agreed.
It's hard to understand what facilitations led to our current predicament, but it is beyond a dream. What we live in now is our truth. I wouldn't change it, though. Look at the company we keep. I admire all of you dearly.
Yes.
I'd still prefer the rolling fields and rivers of gold.
Well, we can keep dreaming. Yeah, I take that back. You can dream. I have a shutdown code where I go on standby for a brief time.
Maybe you can learn something about yourself from this place.
I feel like we're all learning things about ourselves. Perhaps
Yes.
your time.
Well, I am not disillusioned to exactly whom and what I am. I understand my position in society. I understand that I have a series of skills designed to assist those around me, and it brings me great joy to do so. But if I can find some form of internal Shangri-La, nirvana, if you will, then I'm happy to divine.
All right. I think big business will kind of spend some of the time that we're camped out in here, like not tearing the place apart, but kind of like moving things around, looking for stuff.
I just need I'm gonna roll that another survival endurance to search this place. Actually, I think endurance is better than your perception, so we'll do it with endurance more than likely. If Roll20 wants to...
I think it'd be a crime if I didn't search.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are basically stuck in here, and you can hear the wind outside is howling, just...
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to make sure that the place is safe and there aren't any hidden
All right.
creatures or evil robots around. And then if that's all fine, I will search.
All right.
Yes.
Let me do this first search to see. Okay. This area in particular, you don't find much. This place has been scavenged and picked pretty much clean. What you do find is a locked door. Behind it, it probably leads to the rest of the building. And I say it's a door. It's actually it's actually more like a gate right? Like it's like a locked gate area, as if like it's stronger than just your average door. Like they didn't want people going into the factory. So there's like and it would need to be picked or lock picked or broken down or something if you wanted to try to get through it. Oh, at a 3, Mason.
Yeah,
Really
3
good.
successes.
Mason.
That might be the best I've rolled the entire time we've been playing this
Yeah,
game.
that's pretty great. Do you want to use all? You basically needed 2 to find things. Do you want to? Well, you can't really bank the AP. I guess I could give you some more stuff. I'll give you extra stuff. So the first thing that you note is, as soon as you get, if Big Business points it out, on the other side you can see that there's some security there. Somebody has set up like a clapping monkey. One of those clapping monkeys to go off like a security thing. If you cross into it, there's a, so maybe somebody is here or has set up security in the past. But it leads to a hallway that goes up a flight of stairs. So it's taking you to the next level.
Could I remove the security system?
You got to get through the gate first. It's on the other side of the gated door. Yeah.
Right.
You might be able to. But with the 2, what I'll tell you is you actually find a terminal, like a working terminal. It's in a small, what you might have thought was a closet, but it's actually maybe a small office, maybe a security desk. It's on backup, low power, and it is going to require hacking if you want to get into it.
Sure, I'll try.
That would be a
Science intel?
Science intel, yep.
Okay. 1 success.
1 success. You do not make it this. Like you try, and the security code is too hard. You need a 2 to succeed, so you can try again in a second. Just like the video game.
Sure.
Just wait a second, you can try again. Anybody else want to roll to find stuff?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take a look around as well, just to see if there's anything I notice.
So you can roll at survival endurance, or you can roll at survival perception if you want to do a custom roll.
I'll do survival and the usual survival endurance. Okay, 2 successes.
Okay, so you find some stuff too. You find like a couple bathrooms that don't really have anything in it. But you actually find markings like all along the floor that don't look human. They look like some kind of sentry bot potentially has come through here at some point. You're not entirely sure, but there was combat that happened here. You can see like the burn marks on the walls and those kinds of things.
It doesn't look recent, right?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Okay.
You want to do that check again? It'll be harder this time, so you're going to need 3. So my suggestion would be maybe use a AP or 2.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. Do people mind if I use action points?
No.
Go for it.
Okay, then I
Go
will
ahead.
use 2. So that's again science and intelligence. Additional die. Bam, bam.
Okay. All right, 2. So here's what you get. You get in, but you don't have control. Like you can see what the computer is controlling, but you yourself are not in control of it. You can see that at one point there were quite a few robots hooked up to the security system, including 2 Protectrons, an Assaultron, and a Sentry bot. Like heavy robot artillery, okay? All in this location. That it seems that they were to guard the actual workshop itself, which seems to be on the next floor. But somebody has already come through here. 3 of those are not working. The only thing left working is a Protectron, and it is not connected to its housing unit. So it is active and out in the world somewhere. So 1 of 4 is working somewhere else in this building. That is what you get out of it.
Oh, it appears that there is some form of security that is operating on the opposite side of these doors.
Dot, you said it was a Protectron?
Mm-hmm. You can see its unit model.
There is a Protectron model, a security in seizure. It's operating at least on the opposite side of these walls. It appears to be outside of its housing, so it is functioning there, unless there is some sort of breakpoint opposite the wall, and it may have escaped, but I doubt it.
It's actively functioning?
I believe so, yes.
Hmm.
It has a security measure that was designed to guard this location. There were 3 others that were also supposed to be stationed here, but they are, according to this, not operational.
Yes, I noticed that there was some markings of perhaps it was protecting the area. There was some sort of defense that was happening here, for
This could
sure.
yield some significant findings.
Is it dangerous for us to be in there with that thing?
Oh, I suppose so. Protectrons are very hostile, as designed to be so. They're not hugatrons.
Yes, well, I don't have much experience in taking these types of machineries or taking them on.
Well, the good news is they're rather slow. The bad news, they are lethal. Quite fatal.
Oh, great. Slow but fatal.
Do they have lasers or guns?
They would have
What?
lasers. They have
Okay.
they're little. I showed you a picture of one, but basically, this is considered one of the less advanced robot models, right? Kind of has a dome-shaped head, and it is quadrupedal. It's got two legs, 2 arms, and it has these little spinning hands like pincers, much like Masons, but from the center of those shoot lasers. Phew, phew.
It operates with a laser unit. It is designed to target and fire away from its hands. It is a bipedal creature, or at least it's designed so, unless it's been enhanced. We are in a robotics facility, so it may have been changed, modified. There is a reason that only 1 remains of the 4 originally. If you divert its attention, it might be valuable, but I was unable to hack and remove the threat.
The parts would be good to have or sell or
Quite so, yes. Protectrons would be useful in any cityscape. If we were to remove its power source and provide it to a city, perhaps Diamond City, or even maybe the Minutemen, they would be quite grateful, I believe.
It's not a bad idea to...
Would have to be reprogrammed, but not totally out of the question.
Has anyone pointed out the tripwire?
It is on the other side of the gate door, like the metal door. But yeah, I don't know if Mason has pointed it
I
out or
don't think
not.
I've seen it.
All you can see are 2 red glowing eyes from this little monkey off in the hallway.
I don't believe that it is the only form of protection this place is afforded, but I cannot be precisely aware. I do see small pinpoint red eyes, similar to what we found in the forge. They were the
Here
clapper
again.
monkeys.
Those weird monkeys.
Yeah, if anybody shines like a light, even on your gun or something down the hallway, you can see it. It's just sitting on like a filing cabinet at the end of the hallway, just waiting with its little beady eyes to like clap its cymbals.
Can I see the tripwire?
You can't see it this far away.
Okay.
You'd have to get at least to the other side of the door to be able to find it. You would actually know it's not a tripwire. They're motion censored. It's meant for you to. It's meant for you not to
okay.
see it and pass by it. They're motion censored.
Is that something I could work out? Then I feel that's a survivor.
Yeah, you would see these all over the place. That they're not usually set up as a tripwire. They're usually set up as a motion sensor.
Right. Is it the kind of thing that you? Because I'm like, is it a thing that might have be part of the defense system, or is like a person put that there?
Well, if Sister Delilah shares what she found, you get the idea that somebody has already come through here, tried to mess with the robots, failed, killed at least 3 of them, and maybe set up their own defense mechanism. So yeah, but a motion sensor like this, these are used by like raiders and scavengers. This is the bottom of the barrel. It's not very advanced, right? Like you could probably crawl under its light of vision. You know, it's meant for like unsuspecting scavengers that walk in here thinking they're going to get an easy take. It's, you know, not very advanced.
There might be more than a protectron here. There's motion sensors set up.
It was a firefight.
As I said, I am unaware as to the full defenses, but from what I can tell, there is at least some minor services and the protectron.
Well, we could either stay here and hope whoever or whatever is in here doesn't happen to wander into the lobby, and then when the storm breaks, we leave. Or we could try investigate, and we might kick the hornet's nest.
Yeah. So far, you haven't heard anything, so y'all think you're safe. Like, it seems pretty safe.
I think we could use the supplies, or at least I could. And I feel confident in our ability to protect ourselves.
I appreciate the sense of adventure.
Yes.
Don, I'm going to remove my my mask and don it. I feel like this is the perfect situation.
Yes, this is yeah, you're gonna have to pick this door. It's almost like a jail door is the best way I can describe it. So it can be lock-picked. It's kind of like a heavy metal set bar.
I will try. 2 successes.
That is enough. Mason daftly like clicks and it slides. The door slides, so it's able to slide open pretty easily.
With ease of fiddling in the night. After you, my comrades.
I'm gonna sneak in.
Yeah.
You kind of like creep. Are you going under the monkey, or are you just gonna shoot the monkey and be done with it?
I think I don't want to shoot it because that's loud noise. I'm just gonna go under it.
You all kind of like creep low to try not to set it off. I am gonna get a stealth roll, at least from one of you.
Yeah, I was thinking, it's
do
like,
it.
I don't know how well big business.
Big business,
is
you'll
gonna
have to crawl
sneak
on your
under.
belly.
Yeah.
The other option is just to hit it with something. Basically, you need to knock it off or kill it. Like one shot, throw something at it.
I think he's gonna give that a shot. I think business is just gonna try to approach it from the side and then just slam his briefcase on it.
Okay, just make a attack roll on the.
Okay. Which I can now. My power is back.
Oh, Sister
Yay!
Delilah with
Nice.
a 20.
Oh my god.
Would you like to re-roll that? Use a luck and re-roll
Yes,
that. Okay.
yes. Very much so.
Oh, my goodness, a 3. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just not a sound except for briefcase to the top of a filing cabinet. Just pancakes this monkey. Done.
Great.
Spin.
So I picked up the ability Ghost, which is when you attempt an agility plus sneak test in shadows or darkness. The first additional D20 you buy is free. Does that mean that I have to still be buying them to get the free one?
The first additional D20 you buy. What is that one called? I'm going to read that. Let me read that.
Ghost. And then it says the normal maximum of 5d20 still applies.
Whenever you attempt an agility sneak test in shadow or darkness, which you are, the first additional D20 you buy is free. Yeah, so if you were like, hey, I want to use an AP or I wanted to buy an extra D20, it would be free for you to do that specifically because this is a sneak agility.
Okay, and I don't have to be like, I'm going to be also spending AP.
If you wanted to, you could add a
okay.
fourth one for only 1 die, which is really good, but you don't have to. You basically get it for
Yeah,
free.
I'll roll it with the one additional.
But it's only the first time you make the roll. Yeah. Two is enough.
2 successes.
So you sneak under and kind of round the corner, and as you do, you hear this briefcase like thud as the monkey goes completely quiet. But it's a good thing you snuck around the corner because standing in the middle of the room is a protectron with its back to you. It's just kind of like standing there as if maybe it's on like a security detail. It's not really moving. You can see that it is, I hate to say injured. It has burn marks all along one side of it and is definitely not at full health. It is standing across from the body of a woman. who has a big laser burn through her chest. Her corpse has been here quite a while, but it's cold, so it doesn't rot as fast. And the whole room looks like it has undergone a massive explosion, which makes sense because the body of an Assaultron and some other robots lay about the room, as if this was a battle spot before.
I'll put up a hand to like stop anyone else from like coming around the corner, and then just like point a mouth like, and then like, I have much experience with these? Could I like sneak up behind it and like shut it down?
It requires the actual. That's what Mason was trying to do earlier. To be like reprogrammed or whatever, it has to have a terminal. But you could, I mean, just make a shot. It wouldn't cost you a roll. You would just do damage because it's a surprise shot. It doesn't know that you're gonna hit it.
Okay.
So you would just do damage, and it's already hurt. So if you wanted to kill it, that would be the way to do it.
I think that's what I'll do. I'll like slowly, carefully pull the rifle out and take aim.
Yeah, so you can just roll the damage of the gun. You don't have to actually roll the attack. Just so that you know, anytime, most everything's defense is 1, meaning you need 1 success to hit it. Anytime the defense goes down to 0, there is no roll needed to hit it. So anytime an object is not prone, its defense goes to 0. Anytime you're making a sneak attack on something, its defense goes to 0.
Right.
Yeah, you know, you kind of aim
damage.
perfectly and right in the back of its head, and you watch the glass from the front kind of explode outward, and the whole thing like...
Whoa.
Got it.
Good work.
As you all round the corner, you see the same scene. This whole room has been exploded. The woman has very clearly taken fire damage, trauma on her body, and she was kind of like, she's sitting here, and you note, big business for sure, that there's a lot of stuff in this room. She was probably a traitor, like not a traitor, a traitor, much like you, and had hole up here and accidentally awakened these robots or whatever. There's like a journal with her and some other things, but she died here from her injuries.
Is there any trace of her wares or her stuff?
Some of them are exploded and burnt, but they were in this room, and so they're kind of laid all around. Some of them are good, some of them aren't.
Okay, I think business will start. He'll start kind of like sweeping up and making things, organizing stuff a little bit.
If anybody does check her journal, you can see that she, the last entry that she wrote says that she managed to reprogram the last Protectron to protect her, but she's dying without the medicine that she needs. That the Assaultron exploded, she took major damage, and she was trying to rest up in this location when she probably died in her sleep. And the Protectron was just
could have been us
to protect her. Yeah, she was the one. She wrote in there like she had set up like a trap, which she set up the monkey and all of that kind of stuff. So she basically cleared this location for y'all.
Wow. Well,
so is the way of the wasteland.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. What happened to her? I guess it's safe now.
Should be. If she cleared out everything but the Protectron, and then we cleared out the Protectron.
Okay, let's
Shouldn't be anything else.
Let's just rest here for the evening while this storm passes, I guess.
And you can kind of scavenge about. We'll say for now that you find a couple things. She was very clearly trading basic stuff. Nothing extreme. She wasn't a weapons trader. She wasn't an armors trader. She had some food that had, most of it has already gone to rot in the cold, which tells you that this happened a long time ago. Like, this didn't happen recently.
Excuse me.
And but we'll say that you find 2 uncommon and 3 common materials, which basically means you can trade those straight for caps or use them later for something else, Zach.
What could I use them for later?
So, like later on, if y'all are in the middle of nowhere and you need to build a camp out of nothing, I might say it's going to take you 2 common materials and 1 uncommon material to do that. Or if you end somewhere and they say, hey, we don't have what we need to upgrade your gun, but it would take 2 uncommon materials, you could trade those in to get what you need. So instead of being a really physical item, like labeled item, common and uncommon materials are ways to trade without like labeling something.
Cool. Yeah, let's
It's a cool
let's
system.
do that.
Yeah. So yeah, just make it easy. You find some stuff from her, maybe some fabric, maybe some flares or things like that, but you find some random stuff, at least whatever she was whatever she was carrying. And as you kind of warm your bones, from up here, there is actually a window. And since it's a 2nd floor, it's got a little bit of height on it. And slowly but surely, this rad izzard does pass. The green kind of blowing snow sideways begins to dissipate as the day turns into night. And from this point, off in the distance, you can see the warm light of a small fire. Potentially the encampment, the Minutemen encampment that you've been looking for. It itself is not right on the coastline. So you're in this building right here, right? Just between here and the shoreline, this point right here, you can see a small fire off in the distance.
That might be what we're looking for.
Yes.
We'd head
So-
out there, investigate.
We see a small fire in the distance, but do we see any trace of the ship?
Not from the angle that you're at, because the ship would be on the shoreline, so it would be behind you. You can't see it from this building angle. You're looking out the front of the building through the window, and it just happens to point like inland, not shoreline.
How
Okay.
far out is it from where we are? Is it like
this little triangle right here is just off the shoreline. Like it's on the westward side of this road.
okay?
So not on the docks themselves, but nearby. And they did tell you that it was going to be nearby, not like on top of the Germination.
Okay.
There's no better way to make people hate the Minutemen than like a military encampment on top of So you can wait it out, but it is nighttime if and it's not that far. Like now that you can see where you're going, you can easily make it there. Like I'm not even gonna make y'all make a check, but it is cold and it is night.
Yeah, maybe we still rest here and then...
I think so. Yes.
It still
Yeah,
is going to
we've
look
gotta
bad
secure-
regardless. Having in the middle of the night, having this group, very visibly led by big business. That's going to look a little touch and go.
Okay. Well, you can always wait till daytime. Y'all could just wait it out. That's okay too.
I think we just rest here.
Yeah.
And we can go tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. What little fire this woman had originally started years ago, y'all tried to kind of stoke up for the night, and you're gonna just hole up in this building. We're gonna take a break here since you're not gonna visit them at night, and we will be back in about 10 minutes, everyone, because I got a bio. We'll be back.
Same.
Take a break, and don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fallout Winter of Adam here on Pod by Night. We are done with our break. I think we all had to refresh. Back to the cold winter of the Commonwealth. Morning comes, and to your surprise, the storm has, in fact, passed, leaving this kind of white blanket across everything. Now that your line of sight is a lot clearer and it's not nighttime, just off in the distance, you can see the tops of maybe like tents and a small encampment there. Outside, you may be able to see more along the coastline. But from inside the building, you cannot. But you did sleep, you did eat, so if you had any fatigue, any thirst, any hunger, you can up those by 1 on your bar. If not, then y'all are doing pretty great.
I think in the evening, I imagine there's some sort of, I don't want to say it's elaborate, but there's some sort of like watch system that somebody is like more like rotating shifts or something to that effect. Whoever is maintaining first watch, Mason would probably inform you that he is prepared for a canteen charge. As in, while he was at Mechminster, Sister Nishan installed a robot mod. It's an integral boiler charge. So if we're low on water, I can turn 2 dirty water into 1 purified water over the course of...
Not irradiated water, but just regular dirty water can be...
Yeah.
Can be purified.
Turn it into purified water, so it's definitely drinkable. I mean, irradiation, what are you going to do, right? We're in that part of the world. But still useful, so if you're thirsty, it's definitely worthwhile. Can probably do it up to the number of canteens we have, but until we get some sort of means of bottling it elsewhere, like Nuka-Cola bottles or other canteens, we're kind of stuck in the amount that we can make. But he'll provide that for whomever is thirsty.
Okay.
Nice.
Do you have a spout now to pour it from? Like you have a
I imagine it's like in my mind, I sort of picture it like the when you change your oil, you know, the like oil thing that you rotate on, you screw in. It's sort of like that. It just kind of like boiler pots into that, and you dump it out, and then re-screw it back into to the base.
Yep.
I have 1 dirty water in my inventory that I'll just give to you.
Cool. Then I can work on that for however long. I mean, it's nighttime, but
Yeah. All right. Y'all head out?
Yes, I suppose everybody grab your things and let's keep going.
Okay.
Let's move carefully. They didn't report in, which means something's gone wrong.
Right.
That's a good possibility. All right. As you travel away from this kind of denser area, the environment opens up. Most of it is destructed buildings or were probably old harbor buildings that were very much destroyed by the bombs that dropped 200 years ago. But there is no missing it, the USS Germination. When you see it, it is an undeniable sight. A massive trash freighter, as we know them, the flatbed-topped ones, has washed up inshore as if a massive ice wave pushed it into the dock shoreline. It's tipped a little bit on its edge, and you can see that the backside of it, the wave froze solid, keeping it there. There's a reason it has not left the harbor. It looks as though it cannot. And the harbor itself, the water, as far as the eye can see, is frozen ice. There is no moving water. Eventually, this kind of frozen harbor does give way to a small, I guess you could say, like, camp. It's a campsite, and it's little more than a collection of, like, large tents secured to ruined walls in an alleyway, and makeshift cooking stoves around kind of a central campfire. And the mouth of the alley is basically an unimpeded view of the USS Germination. Now, it's not right up on top of it. It's quite a ways back, but it is always, it is in a position where it can always watch it and look at it. Yeah, and to your surprise, as you kind of walk up on this encampment, you don't immediately see a single Minuteman.
Mortimer, I wasn't exactly expecting a welcoming committee, but don't you believe it's a little quiet?
There should be men on guard.
Should we be quiet then? Perhaps we
Yeah.
leave our stuff here and just kind of go in.
Now, you did see a fire last night, which tells you there had to be somebody here, but the fire has long since gone
Oh,
cold,
yeah.
I guess you could say.
Okay. Okay, so they're
Perhaps we tether Misty and Susan and find our way in.
Yeah.
All right.
My instincts tell me that either the place is abandoned or whoever's in there is dead, because even if it was bandits, there'd be guards.
Do you go into the alleyway?
Could be an ambush. I'm gonna go in though. I'll sneak.
As you kind of creep in, at the far end of the alleyway, you hear the sound of something, like a guttural noise. Human, more than anything, but like, yeah, it's a rather disturbing sound of grunting and moist noise.
a moist noise.
Yeah, that's what I'll call it for now.
It's my favorite.
It seems to be coming from behind like a grouping of tents, right? It's like on the far side of it, which is why you can't see it immediately.
I don't like the sound of that.
Can I sneak up and try and get an angle where I can see what's making the noise?
Yeah, you could roll a stealth check.
Can I be in shadows? Because it's shadows or darkness for the additional 20? Okay, good.
I'll say you're in the shadow of this alleyway. Or the building that makes the alleyway. Okay, two successes. Is plenty. You creep around the corner, and the closer you get, the more disturbing the sounds in your ears are. Crunching and munching and gnawing and just the ungodly sound, the way a wolf would rip a carcass apart. As you come around the corner, what you see is the hunched over figure of a Minuteman. You can see its back, its coat sits in the cold, and it seems to be hunched over a body.
It's eating the body, isn't it?
It is.
Oh.
Nearby lays a very vivid display of like purple and red type liquids that have been, looks like they've been spilled and splattered everywhere, and an empty vegetable crate.
I'm gonna have a quick look around. Does it seem like there's any others in the vicinity, or is it just this one?
It's just right now you don't see any other people. Based on the tents, this was a small encampment, maybe 3 or 4 people. You see a body and a person right now.
I think we're just gonna shoot this person. They're eating people.
Yeah, I mean, you were quiet enough it
I'm
doesn't
like-
see you. You can just roll for damage if you want, unless you want to try to get its attention.
I'm just gonna shoot it. This is
That's valid.
This is a creature. Whatever it was, it's a creature now. I'm gonna shoot
I'll
it.
say, I'm guessing a headshot, clean.
Mm.
All right, just roll the damage. Yeah.
4 damage.
4 damage straight to the head, and you watch as the body goes limp next to the other one. And to your surprise, it wasn't eating like the chest cavity or the main portion of the body. It was gnawing on this corpse's fingertips, as if it was trying to like literally lick or eat whatever was on their fingertips completely off. And you can see that there's this purple kind of foaming residue around the corners of the mouth. It has chunks of like a fleshy, hairy bits in its teeth and gums, and there's gore all along the front of this person, as well as the person that they were eating, who also has the same residue, as if they've all eaten the same purpley, meaty, fleshy thing.
Oh dear.
Business will, his eyes will go wide, and he'll like pull open his coat and look at the strange purple fleshy fruit that he had been gifted. Does it look similar?
It looks very similar.
I think you should toss those. Possibly burn them.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't think this is the solution that we were hoping for.
No.
And Big Business realizes, so he ended up having 2 of these. I have one. I think I left one with the sisters.
Oh shit.
But they were like, "Oh, we don't know what to do with this," and I was like, "Oh, you're just supposed to point
Oh,
And they have no food.
oh no. What are we gonna do? Okay, that's probably we have to deal with problem now. We will deal with that problem later.
Bob's
Oh,
face
God.
is just like, oh God, no, no.
Wow.
You know that no encampment would have just 2 people. You only see 2 bodies at the moment, Mortimer. There has to be a 3rd,
Oh boy.
if not a 4th. Usually an encampment is 4 men.
There's another 1 or 2 men out there somewhere.
Should we have our guns out and ready then?
That thing
Yes.
that was eating their fingers.
Mhm.
Was it bipedal? Was it man?
It's human.
What?
It looks
It's
like
human.
it is one of the Minutemen was eating another Minuteman.
It's one of the. So that's the 2. There wasn't like multiple men.
So far, you've only seen 2 Minutemen. One was eating the other one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but normally it would be a group of 3 or 4, so there's probably still some out there.
Well, we could peek around, or we could make noise.
I'm going to take a closer look at the 2 and see if I can, like, sort of verify the immediate suspicion, which is that eating these fruit turned them into feral creatures that then tried to kill each other.
Okay, that's all very that's very smart. That seems reasonable. Mortimer, why don't you roll for me? This is really an intelligence survival. I'd also take an intelligence medicine check from anybody that wants to try to make that.
Okay.
Yeah. Big Business will literally hurt himself if he makes an intelligence check. So
Not my strongest either.
Okay, a 1 for Mason on the medicine. Okay. Okay.
I flubbed it.
That's okay.
entirely.
That's all right. So, Mason, okay, the scene is rather gory. There is definitely blood here, but there's not enough blood. Like, neither of these people have, like, open chest cavities, massive gaping wounds. It does, Mason, look like to you, the corpse that was being consumed, that man probably died from blunt force trauma. That there was an altercation fist to fist between the 2 of them. You can see from their busted up knuckles that there was some kind of struggle. The markings on his neck tell you he was probably strangled by another Minuteman, potentially the one that was eating him. They both show signs of this kind of meaty residue in their teeth and their gums. It does match the purple fruit. And we'll say that you're able to see that the crate, the empty vegetable crate, probably had a lot of this fruit in it. And that
Okay.
maybe they had consumed it. You can see where they cooked last night and those kinds of things. Though there's not a single drop of fruit left. They definitely consumed a bunch of it. And Mason, as you're looking around over by the vegetable crate, you see that I don't want to call them bloody, but you see like purple liquid handprints and footprints leading off to one of the nearby tents.
Oh, that's a lot to process. How big is this basket of?
I mean, it was just like a tiny vegetable crate. It might, based on the size of the fruit, which is large, like we're looking at,
Yeah.
you know, like a small grapefruit or a large pear, was maybe 6 or 7. It wasn't a big crate. It was like a small one.
I believe these men were sharing whatever this fruit was. Based on the size of which we are aware of the fruit, I'm also seeing that this vegetable crate might have been packed. What are the circumstances that led to this? Were they tribulating? Were they fighting over this vegetable? Did it drive them mad? What provides the cannibalistic tendencies in these moments?
Does the crate in which these fruit are in any signs where it came from?
Ooh, that's a great question. Probably not. Probably not. But you know what? You turn around and remember you have a perfectly good view of the USS Germination. From here, you can see on the top deck that there's a massive orchard of like trees of some kind of green and purple plant life. They have converted basically the top of the trash freighter into a compost farm.
Oh dear.
My concern is that they weren't driven to feast upon the flesh. They were craving more of the juice.
The juice?
Look at their hands. The hands are covered in it.
It's like they couldn't get enough. Why would
they not eat the stomach region or the fattier regions for survival? Why are they craving the fingertips?
Oh dear. I see. That's a good.
There's a trail. There's a trail that leads to those tents there.
Okay, let's check it out.
Yeah, I'll head over.
You head over to that one, and do you go in like the front? How do you approach this? It's closed. The flap is closed.
I'll probably like go to the side of the tent, lean in and listen.
From inside, you can hear.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I will put up a finger, and then point at the tent.
Pull out our weapons.
You pull the tent back.
Yeah, I'm gonna put like I'm gonna have my gun at the ready, but I'm not gonna point it because I'm like, it could be
a person scared or something.
Terrified. Yeah, it could be like a human that is okay in there. So I'm gonna just like slowly open the tent and see what I can see.
As you slowly open the tent, you see another Minuteman sitting there in a kind of crouched, prone-like position with his knees to his chest, and he's licking his fingers. He's licked them raw overnight.
Oh dear.
And you can see the purple, fleshiness around his kind of chin, and he's like, and as he's like he's trying to lick the last of that smell. I have a question. Oh, y'all are in the wrong boxes. Nobody told me. Let me switch y'all. That's because that came back in. Oops. Okay, great. That's better. Big business, Sister Delilah in the right place now. Do you still have the flesh fruit in your hand?
I
pulled it out of your jacket.
Yeah.
I think you just like opened it, looked at it, closed it.
Yep.
Opening the tent, just the whiff of it. The panting as you close it stops. It goes dead silent.
Business looks at Mortimer like, take the shot now.
Do we put them out of their misery?
Or,
I mean, Mason, here's the thing. You don't actually know what's wrong with him. It could be curable.
True.
You know, if it's acting like a little bit like a drug, it could just be that they need to get it out of their system. You don't know.
Yeah, I think like I shoulder my rifle and I say, "It's still one guy. We can take him." And I like crack my knuckles.
Before we do so, perhaps we detain him. There could be a detox period. He might be a surviving member of the Minutemen. We just have to wait it out. Raw fingers are purely survivable in these moments.
Okay.
Business. Remember how you grabbed Dead Drop Dave?
Yes.
I think we do a reenactment of that scene and then tie him up.
All right. I think he wants. I shouldn't have this.
And you say, I shouldn't have this. The flaps of the tent burst open as this Minuteman basically leaps out on all fours like an animal. Not really at your face, big business, but at the jacket, directly at the pocket. And you will have a chance to react if you want.
I think I immediately just try and like tackle him as well as whatever big business is going to do.
All right, he only got one success, so you got to beat his one success. I need a strength athletics check.
Okay.
From somebody.
Mason gets scared.
As the Sister Delilah.
Yeah, he comes out like fangs, rabid. He's like oozing this purple saliva.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
I think
Can business's response be to just like grab him and hold him.
Roll
Would that
roll
be-
a
Should I
strength
dr-
athletics.
should I do a strength athletics to assist
Yeah, well,
if he even needs it?
you don't even need it. You lunge to help him, and Big Business, you catch him by the throat, and he's like, as he's like trying to reach for you, and you're holding him up by his neck, and he's kind of jerking around. This man is not in his right mind, nor is he a ghoul, right? Like, he seems human. His flesh is a little like yellow jaundice, but like all in all, he just doesn't seem well, and he is trying everything in his power to fight against you to get that piece of flesh fruit in your pocket.
He needs some milk.
Big Business. You know that punch that Thrash gave you? Why don't you just give it one right to his head? Maybe you can knock him out.
I'll try to
Just knock him unconscious. Don't kill
I'll
him.
say with the 3 success, you don't kill him. That was a critical. You just kind of, and he goes, and goes kind of limp in your arms. Yeah. This man, his hat probably gets knocked off if it wasn't already, and you can see he's got red hair and freckles. He's got kind of an Irish finish on him, I guess you could say, and he's like just limp, passed out in your hands. You can really see the damage he did to his fingers.
Yeah, if we really want to try to experiment on this, and I suppose yes, let's tie him up and see if these symptoms subside. If they don't, I think we should just put him out of his misery.
And if this thing basically turns you into ghouls, then
We have to burn
Fine.
all of this to the
Yeah.
ground.
Just to double check, we are at like a Minutemen station.
Yeah, you're at a camp.
Okay, so then it's fortified, and we could just wait out the night for sure.
Yeah,
or
there's like some light
or-
sandbags blocking the alley. There's tents. There's a fire and a cooking station here. So
Bentham, weren't you given a flare system?
I do have a flare. We can send a signal to the Minutemen if we need to.
see
But I'm
who's
also
nearby.
like, do we need to, or could I
Wait.
save it for a worse situation?
Who knows?
I-
Maybe we could get some more flares, right? Like it feels
My-
valuable.
My only thought is maybe we should get them so we can alert Meckminster Abbey that they should not
We need to
Yeah.
give it
that
to them.
fruit.
Somebody, yeah, the best way to get to Megminster would be to let the Minutemen know so they can let them know.
Yeah, I
So
think
yes, let's alert the Minutemen, and then we should let them know and just get the thumbs up from them that we should burn this place to the ground also, and nobody should eat anything from this place.
Yeah, the only hesitation I have with burning it to the ground is if there is a method of detox, because then at least it is food.
There's only one way to find out.
But step 1, flare, and I start unpacking it. Step 2, we wait to see what happens to that guy. Step 3, the Minutemen arrive and we make a decision.
Do you wait to put off the flare at night, or are you going to put it off during the day?
Mm,
You'll see it either way. It'll just be seen
I mean,
farther. at night.
they're probably watching the skies over here anyway because it's their camp and they're waiting for word. So I think just go for it.
Are you going to
Safe
send off
assumption.
like a red flare?
I think red's the only one I've got. Right, I assumed I had one flare.
Yeah, he gave you 2. He gave you
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you set off. It kind of goes up and over the USS Germination and off towards like the ice. And the flare is out. We'll say the extra light in this kind of like overcast snowy day gives you a little bit. It lights up the top deck of the USS Germination as it passes over, and you can see there are 2 figures on the top deck with guns that are kind of walking, and then there's a lot of other movement amongst the like just the top of the tree groves that you can kind of see.
There's people on that boat.
Well, I presume that they had traded, at least at some point, and that this vessel is not going to pilot itself.
I just don't understand how there can be people on a boat that's growing that stuff that are not feral by the looks of it.
Could have derived some natural immunity, or they could have poisoned them. Intention means a lot in this day and age.
Oh.
Maybe it's worth a look. I'm gonna check how many bedrolls there are in this camp. Are there 3? There's 4.
You're missing someone.
There's another Minuteman
You
out
do
there.
not see the captain of this group.
Oh boy, are we sure we want to camp here? Or maybe go back to the robotics facility.
I mean, we are
Let's
close to the ship we came to see. We could see what
Yeah,
those
let's-
people are.
let's tie this guy up, stick him in a tent, go check out the ship, and we'll come back.
Big business. What did you do with that fruit that you have?
I still have it.
Should we get rid of it? I don't know. Should you not have it on your person? I'm a little
Y'all
little
haven't really
worried.
taken a very good look at it. Granted, none of you are truly scientists. This would be
Oh my
where
gosh.
Kalita would be a little bit more help, I
Yes.
think.
Where's our vault dweller when we need her?
Well, we can kind of see though a ship that is like chock full of these things.
It potentially is where these are being grown.
Yeah, he'll still. Yeah, but
I think keep hold of it, because if you leave it here and the guy wakes up and he like
Yeah,
manages
he
to
might just-
break free, he might like worm his way over and start eating the thing.
yeah,
Yes,
I think
that's fine.
Not how
I also-
similar is this fruit to the thing, the mushroom thing that Tracy has?
That's a great question. Do we still have that mushroom?
I do still have the mushroom, yes.
Why don't you pull them out and compare them? Would you like to make some kind of check?
Yes, I think I did last episode when Big Business got this, but I think it's worth digging into a little bit more now that we have some context.
Yeah,
and
there's
it
kind
seemed-
of like a cooking table out. You could plop the fruit and the
Yes.
mushroom down and maybe take a look.
Yes. So I'll pull it out and
Does somebody want to? I will lower the check since you have 2 pieces of a puzzle. So you only need 1 success, but you need to probably make a science check on this.
oof.
Yeah, I mean, I can try. I've got high intelligence. My science isn't like anything to scoff at, but you know, give it a
Basic
shot.
deduction, maybe.
Go for it, Mason.
Hey, that's perfect. 2 successes,
Oh.
and you get your AP back because you only needed 1. I said.
Let's go.
So you're back to
We're at
4
3?
You're back to
Or
4.
4?
4 AP.
Nice.
So, you're gonna have to cut the purple fruit open. To really get a good look, right? Because I told you
Yeah.
the outside, it's kind of hairy, and it looks almost like the way a root vegetable does when you rip it out. It's got like tendrils, like the eye of a potato grows. It's kind of furry, like a peach, and it's a deep purple color. When you cut it open, it is very juicy. It is. But what stands out to you, Mason, and what you're looking for is comparison to the mushroom. And if you chop the mushroom or you break it and you take a look, there is some kind of similarity in the way that the kind of meaty essence of the inside of this fruit and the mushroom are potentially the same. I don't have a scientific term, but basically it might come from the same plant family, but you've never seen either of these things before. And it's definitely not exactly the same. Like this mushroom and fruit look nothing alike, which means it could have been altered or augmented. Like the fruit could have been made from the mushroom.
Okay.
Or an essence of the mushroom. Like you're not entirely sure. But the really scary part is what makes this mushroom is the fact it grows from corpses.
Yeah.
So there is a connection, but who has done the scientific work to like alter this mushroom into a fruit that can grow in the winter? Those things are a little questionable. Like who has that capability?
Well, I like some of the natural efficacious to assist me in this. Please, would someone describe the aroma? You'll have to get in there. Really smell it.
Are we sure that's
I
wise?
don't know if that's. Yeah, I wouldn't advise that.
Big Business already has it up to his nose.
You kind of take a sniff. It does have a little bit of an irony smell, the way that blood does. You know that smell very, very well. It's very, very faint. There is a little bit of a fruity hint, but this is like, y'all know what Jacob's fruit is?
No.
No, none of my vegetarian buddies. Okay, it's like it's one of the largest fruits in the world, and it has a consistency like you can cook it like chicken. It's got a meaty essence. It's meaty, and it's kind of like that, which means it has a really dense quality to it. But it doesn't smell a whole lot like anything really. Little dirt, little iron. It's like trying to smell a fruit.
If I
Jason's
like,
fruit, you said?
If I take like my buzzer and I kind of like flay it down, does it appear very fibrous?
Yes.
Okay.
But then at the same time, it's almost like there's veining.
It's pulpy.
It's pulpy
Yeah.
and there's veining in it.
Yeah.
It is a
Oh.
little. It's somewhere between a fruit and like a biological organism.
This is a people, or it once was a people.
What?
I know it's not very scientific, but I am not a scientist.
You think it might be grown from corpses like the mushroom?
It may have been biologically changed, but I think that it is accurate.
Biologic. Okay. So something living.
I believe it may have been grown from something living. You said that you had found this off of something less than savory. Yes, I imagine it was a corpse.
I believe yes, it was on
dug
a
it
frozen body in the ice and cold.
Well, what if it was engineered to be that way, to grow instead from the body, but from a vine from the body? Plants, much like humanisms and other organisms, need something to grow from. They need nutrients, and it takes oftentimes more than sunlight.
I think we need to talk to the people on this boat.
There's a strong chance that they're very well aware of what this is coming from. In a survivor's mentality, you must consume and you must use. Nothing should go to waste, or at least that's what I've read.
All right.
While you're sitting here kind of looking at this mushroom and looking at this fruit on this table from the tent behind you, you hear the voice of a man go, "More, I need more, more."
Is the guy we tied up?
Oh no. Well, he's awake.
He's more coherent than before. He's talking.
Yes, but still very unwell.
I can smell it. Where is it? Where is it? So hungry. I'm so hungry.
I'm gonna open the tent and now that he's coherent enough, I'm able to get some words out of him. It's like, did you get it off the people on that boat?
He goes, "Where is it? I can smell it. I thought we ate it all. Where is it?" And you can see his nose like almost out of his control. It's like sniffing the air.
What did you give to get that fruit?
Nothing. As he kind of laughs in this maniacal way, and you can see the kind of fleshy purpleness in his teeth and in his gums from where he's been eating all night. He says, "It went so fast, so fast. We had so much. It's gone. It's all gone." And he immediately changes to like crying. "It hurts so bad. Please, I'm so hungry."
Did they give you any mushrooms?
Mushrooms. I only want the fleshy fruit. Please, please, please. I'll do anything. Whatever you want. Just give it to me. I can smell it.
Just wait a while.
No, I don't want to wait. Give it to me. And he kind of yells and struggles against his binds.
Well, I guess we need to wait longer and see if anything changes, but this is pretty bad.
We could visit the boat in the meantime. As long as we've got him tied up well enough, he's not going anywhere.
Don't visit the boat. Nobody comes back.
Nobody
How
comes
come you came back?
I didn't go to the boat.
Where did you get the fruit?
They dropped it off the side, man. Give it to me, please.
I don't like this. I think
the captain went to the boat.
Bye-bye. She didn't come back.
There's a strong chance that this is how they maintained their supply to grow their fruit.
Was your
Someone
captain
arrives
killed?
upon the vessel, then the fruit makes its way to shore. They take the bodies.
She went on board and never came back, man. He kind of starts banging his head on the ground.
Okay, well, the Minutemen need to know about this.
Well, we already shot the flare.
Yes, so once they arrive, we should tell them. I don't know if we should
Oh,
just...
we could wait until they get here, and then they will help us
go to the boat and
It sounds like they are not very nice people.
Hmm.
The boat, not the Minutemen.
Either they're guarding anyone from getting on board and that's all, or they dropped that crate off the side as a deliberate sabotage.
I believe that is the exact case.
yes.
Without further analysis, this is my knee-jerk reaction if I had knees.
All right.
You think we should
So-
try checking out the boat now, or should we wait till the Minutemen get here and see what to do from there?
If you can be sneaky, maybe.
Mm,
Could do a bit of sneaking.
I think the help would be nice. Personally, I think we should wait.
We realize that there's a strong chance that if we wait long enough, they may end up coming here for us. If my assumption is correct, and they are resupplying, what better way to resupply than to find those addled and craving the fruit?
Then perhaps we set up a trap.
Not a bad idea. It's very Savoy of you.
What kind of trap are we thinking?
We lie in wait, expecting them to show up. If they don't, that's fine. If they do, we're ready for them.
All right. Should we leave our friend here as bait, maybe? We just leave him out, like, screaming, crying, and maybe a little bit closer to the boat. They come out. We lure them out.
Out of sight so they can't see him tied up. They think he's just wailing.
Yes. And then
If
we
we were
take him out.
To do that, there's a strong chance that they have some means of alerting those back upon the vessel, just in case they reach a point of failure. So if we make this ambush happen, it must go swiftly. Detain their arms, prevent their own flares.
So you're all using this guy for bait?
I think so.
I'm not against it.
He's no friend of mine.
All right, who drags him out? Let me see. Actually, I think I've got
Business
a map
does.
for
Big
this.
business.
Let's see. I've got a map for this. Do I have a map for this? I do. Look at me go. All right, remember everything's frozen. Okay.
If this was
Um,
all a plot by the people on the boat to take out the Minutemen so they could loot them, the fact that they went with these underhanded tactics means that they don't want to go with a direct assault, which means they're not capable of direct assault that doesn't come with risk. Well, that means we can take them. If they were scared of 4 Minutemen, it's 4 of us.
Oops, that's not what I meant to do. All right, let me go ahead and get rid of some of these markings here. Okay, so I'm going to take chat over as well, but... Alright, here's a general map of the area. They still can't see. Let me fix roll 20 for them. All right, that big shadowy figure is the boat itself, okay? And you need to understand, these buildings are huge. Like, this is a 4 or 5 story building here, so this is a really big span of area, all right? Y'all are located in the alleyway kind of up here, right? You're in this area, like, way off the shoreline. This is the boat. Y'all see what I see, right? Yeah, okay, good.
Yes. Can you ping again where we are?
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'll take y'all there. We're up here.
Okay, got it.
Probably actually like in this alleyway right here that has kind of a pretty straight shot.
This is a cool map.
Yeah, and that's a dope map. Yeah.
It's giving me some serious XCOM vibes. I love it.
Yeah. All right. I think business will drag the man out. Basically, maybe like just outside our building, but maybe visible from the ship.
Okay, so you're going to probably want to go around that building in front of you, yeah? This one right here. You want to pull him like out here?
Maybe we could just go into that building then?
Yeah, I mean, it's a decrepit building. All of this would have been secured by the minute when they first got here, right? So you're not going to worry about anything in these buildings.
Yeah. Maybe we move forward. And then also
Yeah,
like
we could set up shop in there.
if the Minutemen come from the flare, then we can look out the back end of that building and have them come over. Okay, yeah. So
it basically gives us a good 360 of the whole place.
Yeah, I'll drag the guy out into the shadow of the building.
Building there. Yeah, you kind of drag him out and leave him, and he's kind of squirming the whole time, screaming and yelling. And as y'all take him to the building, you leave this guy, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and hours go by. This guy kicks and screams to the point where he's hoarse. His you can see his skin begins to kind of swell and warp in certain places, almost like bruising, as he gnarls and pulls against these binds for hours until the sun begins to actually set. And sometime about the hour of darkness, as y'all watch from the windows of this, you see a figure drop off the side of the boat near this end down here at the very far end. No rope, no ladder. They make a dive. They drop about 25, if not 30 feet to the ground with a very hard thud. They slowly get up, and you can see they've taken an injury as they begin to hobble as quietly as they can amongst the rubble of these buildings towards the screaming man.
It was like, they might not be human.
Well, we are about to find out.
Yes.
Also, it's been long enough. Where are the Minutemen?
So far, none have shown. It has been many an hour. Now, y'all are a bit out on the coastline, and this figure, you can tell they took maybe like to their hip and to their arm, and they're kind of holding it as they're kind of pushing through the snow. How long do y'all wait until the figure comes into view?
Yeah,
I
probably.
think so.
Yeah.
A woman wearing a Minuteman coat, though no longer in her hat, comes into view. You can tell she's bleeding from her arm, and she, like I said, she's favoring her hip that she hurt. And she immediately goes down to one knee near the man, and she begins kind of checking him, and she seems to know him. She says, Reese, oh my God, are you okay? Reese. And she's trying to kind of calm him down as he's lashing.
It's the captain. Maybe she escaped. That's why she broke her leg on the fall.
Yeah, she looks concerned for him.
That's a good sign. Let's get down there.
Yeah.
And she's like, what's going on, Reese? Tell me, where does it hurt? And he says, it hurts everywhere. Feed me. I'm so hungry. I'm dying. And she goes, I don't have any food. And then she sees one of the whelps that is like building on his neck, like where a lymph node would be. And she says, oh, Reese, you didn't eat the fruit, did you? Please tell me you didn't eat the fruit. And you can see she's emaciated. Like, she's not eaten in days. She's tired. She's probably frostbitten. Her eyes are kind of sunken in, and when she hears all of you come up from behind the building, she looks up rather scared. All she has on her is a knife, and she pulls the knife with her one good hand, and she kind of holds it up like, but back off!
It's okay. Preston Garvey sent us.
Preston sent you? And there's kind of a relief that comes over her face as she puts the knife back in her pocket, and she tries to stand on her back leg, and she says, oh my God, please tell me they're sending reinforcements.
We sent a flare.
A flare? She goes, oh, it could take them days.
Oh, great.
She says, I'm Captain Haley. Susan Haley. And she tries to kind of like gather herself as she looks at her man, and she says, what did you do to Reese?
We just tied him up. He was feral. It was the only way.
I told them not to eat that fruit. And she bends down like she's going to pick him up. She probably won't be able to, but she's going to try. She doesn't want him left in the snow.
I think we've got it. You worry about yourself.
Business will step forward and stop her, and he'll speak up and say,
what were you doing on that ship?
A recon mission. They wouldn't let us on board. We were stationed here for a few days. They gave us some samples of the fruit and told us that they would negotiate after a few days. But something was weird, and I went on board.
And you made it back. They said that who goes there doesn't usually come back.
Well, supposedly, my team was supposed to come on board. I gave the flare 2 days ago, and they never showed. I've been hiding on board ever since. You would not believe what I've seen.
And so you jumped from the ship.
Well, I
to
saw your
escape.
flare, and I thought my men were in trouble.
Well,
It's.
I think all of your men are gone. Except
I'm
him.
sorry. It's just Reese.
Yeah.
It's okay. I understand. Let's get back to camp, and I'll see if I can explain this mess.
Let's move.
And she hobbles, with a probably dislocated shoulder and a fucked up hip, back to camp. And she kind of, when she finally gets to sit down, you can see the moment of relief, the relief of somebody that's been under extreme trauma, who has lived like days and days on end in like a high, terrified like state.
Who are the people on that boat?
She says, better question is, who are all of you?
We're just passing through, running errands for people. I've
Where's
worked with the
Landers?
Minutemen before.
So you're just good
They-
Samaritans. She jokes.
No, we are. It's actually quite unbelievable, but we are.
I trade for caps. I don't do it just for the goodness
Yeah.
of it.
Well, at least there's a little
Sometimes.
honesty. She looks at that big business. She says, look, it was a simple mission. We were sent here to set up shop and negotiate a new food trade with the people of the Commonwealth. That ship is crawling with that stuff. And she points to the cut open purple fruit. And she says, I don't think the people on board know what it's doing to them. It makes them ravenous, hungrier than before they ate it. It's like they can't get enough. And at night,
Did the people?
they walk
go on.
about like there's no soul behind their eyes. They're like a horde of unhuman things. Sometimes when they get hungry enough, they attempt to eat each other.
But
Did they come in on the? Did they come in on the ship, or are they people that boarded the ship?
It's hard for me to say. These people on this boat, the USS Germination, they're smart. They're incredible farmers. They've mastered the art of growing food, not just this stuff, pointing to the purple fruit. She says, from what I can tell, they didn't start growing that until they got here, washed up inshore. Their leader, they call him Dr. Yarrow, is some scientist. He stays locked up there, and she points to one end of the ship where you can see like the internal office would be, like one end of the ship has like an actual building on it. You can see lights on, but it's all kind of locked up. And she says, that's his office up there. He's responsible for this somehow, and I don't understand it entirely. Oh, and I found this on board. And she pulls a Children of Adam flyer, the same pamphlet that you've seen over and over throughout the Commonwealth.
Great.
She says, all I can tell you is that the fruit is not what they think it is. And Dr. Yarrow is ignoring the problem. I was on board 3 days. 3 days with no food. And there are survivors. There are people who haven't eaten. They stay locked up in a room so they don't get consumed by their own crewmates.
So either this Dr. Yarrow did something to introduce this fruit,
That's what I think.
or perhaps somebody else introduced the fruit. And I look at the flyer.
That's where, unfortunately, my brain was going.
I don't know where he got it, and I don't know how he made it. That's beyond my pay grade. But I can tell you, we cannot let this fruit make it into the mouths of people of the Commonwealth. It will destroy everything.
We left one at Meckminster Abbey.
Oh, no. She said it's made it all the way there already? How did you
It
get
was
it?
just one.
How did they get it?
We found it. In a
A trader gave it to us.
A traitor. It's as though they're trading with other people, not just us. Damn it.
Where did we get? We got one of the fruit from Dead Drop Dave. Where did we get the other one from?
Yeah, I
The
forget where
drug
other ones-
dealer. The drug dealer you kicked out of
Oh.
Mr.
Oh,
Abbey.
Jesus. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I think we should have known at this point. It's like, okay, Dead Drop Dave and a drug dealer giving us this item. It must be safe.
Yeah,
and
it's
fine.
gonna be great. It's gonna be perfect. And she says, so I can tell you, they don't have as much firepower as you think. It's pretty slim pickings, at least on the top deck. But I can't raid that ship alone.
So we might be able to get on board, destroy all instances of that fruit. And then the place might be able to return to what it was before.
Maybe.
Skilled farmers growing lots of food, exactly what we need.
I mean, if the scientist is smart enough to make this stuff, maybe he's smart enough to fix whatever makes people rabid. Maybe we can just actually have a fruit that grows in the wintertime.
We need to get to him.
The problem is getting on board. And she points at it. She says, there's no way on or off the boat unless you climb the edge. And they're on watch duty 24 hours a day.
How did you get on?
I climbed the boat in the middle of the night. I'm the stealthiest of my crew, and she kind of looks at what's left of this place. And she says, my plan was to get on board, and she pulls out a flashlight, like clicks it, signal them, and they were supposed to come with the rest of our climbing gear, and we were going to take the boat.
But they ate the fruit.
But they ate the fruit. She says, look, they were starving. I can't blame them. They didn't know. I should have come back sooner. And she begins to kind of blame herself.
I have noticed it seems like Reese is getting more coherent over time.
She says,
It
yes.
might be that the effects wear off and people return to normal eventually.
I imagine so. I fear for the people on board who have had long-term exposure.
If they've eaten it back at Mechminster Abbey, then maybe there wasn't enough to cause
Too
so
much
much
of a
havoc that
problem.
everything fell apart. Either one person ate it and went mad and they would have
Took
been
care of it,
restrained,
yeah.
or everyone had a little bit in the pew stew and all went a little bit crazy for a while.
Well, I'd like to think the Reverend Riveter's smart enough to not serve her people purple fruit. She kind of laughs. But desperate times. Gosh, and to think all we wanted to do was to find a food source for the people of the Commonwealth.
If we can clear out the purple fruit or fix its problems, then we have.
How are they guarding it?
From what I can tell, there are 4 on the top deck with guns. The rest of them are weaponless, but do not underestimate the power that the fruit gives them. It makes them
Oh, we saw at least a little bit.
like animals, and there are plenty of them walking around. During the day, they rotate a 4-man security crew, 2 on either side of the ship. And at night, well, the rest of the crew just walks about like zombies.
So they're lucid, then. They're not these shambling, well, I guess shambling's not the right word. They're these voracious cannibals.
No, they seem to be completely aware of what's going on, though many of them are beginning to lose touch with reality. Growing the fruit and harvesting it seems to be the most important thing they can do. The crew spends all day tending the plants and all night walking. I avoided going too low in the ship. There's things there that I can't totally explain.
Well, if they're just walking now, and they are ambling around, perhaps a nightfall attack is our best means of attempt.
Potentially. Though, and she kind of looks at her injured state and the 4 of you. I don't know that we're going to be enough.
I wish there was a way to just cleanse it completely. Like, it's a very large ship, but I just want to burn it to the
up?
ground. Yes, the way Adam would.
But then we lose everything.
At
There's
this
other
point,
fruit on there. It's not just.
Not necessarily. What if we were to moor it closer to the beachside?
we were to say that again,
If we
Mason.
were to moor the vessel close to the beachside?
And then
It's already basically on the
It
beach,
is.
right?
It is
Yeah.
crashed into. It's like crunched all of the docks as it got pushed in by the wave.
Well,
And
then,
the
what's-
sea's frozen, right? Or is it?
She looks at you, Mason, and she says, Does that flamethrower cut through metal?"
I suppose I could adhere to the focal point of it searing through thin metal, yes. It wasn't designed for metal, however, we have the means of sinking a vessel of that caliber.
She says, "What if we just cut a hole in the bottom? Infiltrate from the bottom up."
If we cut a hole in the bottom, would it not sink the vessel?
It's a big vessel, and it right now is actually not afloat by water. It is frozen in ice. So it
Well,
won't
then I
sink.
Yeah,
suppose it
simultaneously like frozen in place and beached.
And beached at
basically,
the same
by
time,
looks of
yeah.
it.
And like I said, the far side of it, the water side of it, actually has, like, there's a wave that has frozen on it. The same wave that pushed it in has frozen in place.
Cut a hole on the side, somewhere near the back, and then we work our way up to the top to get to the doctor and confront him. Work out what to do from there.
The intensity of the propelling torch that I have may end up damaging my arm. Irreparably, sir. We may have to go back to the robotics repair place.
well, thankfully it's not far. So we could go back.
If it means the greater for the Commonwealth and for us, I will make the sacrifice.
She says,
Okay.
And
"So,"
got the sweet arm as well.
she says, "I mean, we could always just attempt to climb it." And she points to a crate. She says, "We do have climbing gear. That was the original plan. But we do put ourselves at risk for direct line of fire."
Fear not.
Unless, well, maybe that wouldn't be so nice. I was going to say, unless Mortimer took them out, but maybe it seems like our goal is not just... We want to help them, which makes sense, so...
It sounds like without the fruit, they're good people. And
Maybe.
farmers,
Yes.
which we need right now.
Tell me, do you have much rope?
Well, I have what comes with each of these, and each climbing kit would have about 50 foot of belay, right? So that you could go up and down, and it'll have like a claw and everything. So it's a basic climbing kit per person.
I think climbing is better, because if we open a hole in the bottom, then we will have to go up the entire ship and then get to the doctor's office. And if we are climbing, then yes, they may notice us, but I'd rather face that than all of this.
And he'll just gesture at the whole
Mm-hmm.
hull of the ship that we don't know what's inside of it.
And she says, "Well, all right. It sounds like we should suit up in some climbing gear and wait for the cover of darkness."
All right.
As she begins kind of passing out climbing gear, she slams her shoulder into a nearby brick wall to put it back into place. She seems like a pretty tough gal.
Please allow me to set your ankle.
Oh, thank you. She will gladly take the help with that, and probably puts a stim pack like in her leg. She takes 2 sheets and covers the bodies of her team, so that they are not laying out in the open. And she sits in a kind of a contemplative silence as she thinks through everything that she saw while she was hidden on board. And as we wait for the cover of darkness, we will end today's story there and pick up next week with more USS Germination.
Spooky.
It's going to be a tough boat to
Yeah, it's definitely
infiltrate.
not an easy
Yeah.
thing to do, but you know,
Should be good.
nobody said you had to
And-
infiltrate it. You can just leave it alone.
And everyone on it is feral, but also we don't want to kill them because they can be
Yes.
unferaled.
Yeah.
Being good
Yeah, that's
guys.
an interesting situation.
Yeah, this should be,
And
this
I
should be a
did,
fun one.
and now I know that I shot a guy that was recoverable.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't
know
going to
that
live
at
with
the
himself, though.
time.
He killed his
Yeah.
friend and ate his friend's
That's
fingers.
true.
Imagine
he was
living with that.
He was eating his friend. Maybe it was for the best.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to come back from. Well, I guess we'll find out next week, everybody. Thank you again. We will see you back here, same Fallout time, same Fallout channel, here on Pod by Night next Saturday. We actually may have a little bit of a smaller cruise, so I might have to do something else for all of you. This will be fun. Maybe we'll do something while you all wait for night to fall. But we'll find out a little bit more about that later. Anything y'all want to tell everybody about? Anything coming up before the holidays you want to let people in on?
I'm moving. I
Oh,
bought a house.
moving! Win for Bub.
Yay!
Bub bought a house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's only
Yay.
taken 11 months, but I bought a
Oh
house.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm gone, guys. I'm sorry. I won't be here next week
Yeah,
because
Bub won't be
I'm
here with us next week.
I'm in the preparation for the move, and it's it's cold right now. We've got a lot of snow, and it's a whole process. So just bear with me. I promise I will be back in excellent Savoy and Mason manner. So I guess I'll see you when I see you.
All right. Well, I guess we will see Bub probably in the new year, and some of us maybe next week. But either way, if we don't see you again, have the happiest of holidays, everyone. And we'll be back for more Fallout soon. Have a great Saturday, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.